over the past 4 years, you guys have had a chance just to get to know one another and be immersed in what is character and leadership. And I want you to go back in time to your young self and thinking back to those first days on campus. Where did you hope or expect to be by the time you ended your college journey?
I hope that I would know the things I liked. I hope that I knew myself. I hope that I'd be happy. Um, I hope that I'd finish in 4 years, and we did that. And I hope that I had grown, and I think I had.
I feel like my freshman year, I couldn't even think about my senior year. Like, I had such a hard time thinking about, like, the end, and now I feel like getting here, I can reflect more on, like, how much I've grown and, like, how different I was coming here and how less confident I was and, like, willing to be vulnerable. And, like, I feel like I didn't even have a goal for myself then. It was just, like, go day by day, and now I feel like I've met all of the goals that I had for myself, at least starting senior year, like, knowing what I was going to do post-grad, feeling like I have a purpose in that post-grad experience and like making good friends and yeah, just enjoying the last year.
I think I hoped I would create a full life for myself here, and I have. I probably would have envisioned that I was a little bit more sure on my vocation than I currently am, but I would have hoped to have built a community of people I can call friends, and I feel like I can.
I want to talk a bit more. You guys each have mentioned the ways in which that you've grown. How have you seen your character grow since starting here at Wake Forest? Anissa, you mentioned that you've grown more confident.
I just feel like I was really quiet and I was probably the last person to talk always, which probably hasn't changed much. But I do feel like I'm more confident when I do speak and what I say and like my own beliefs and who I am as a person.
When we were in class the other day, I was talking about the virtue that I've had the most change with, and for me that was hope. I was talking about how hope has always been kind of a struggle for me. It's not something that has always come naturally because I tend to be very cynical. And so over college, I've been trying to foster that because I think it's the inspiration for everything I want to do and all of the ways that I want to go out into the world and help people. And even though there is a lot going on that I think can really bring you down and make you not hopeful, I think it's a form of resistance to continue fighting, to go on another day and say that I'm still going to do what I'm going to do because I know things can get better and I'd like to be a part of that.
How have you developed, like, having greater hope? What have you done?
One of the ways I've developed hope is through trying to find my vocation. I've had a lot of really affirming experiences with internships over my time at college. One experience that stands out in particular is an internship I worked at Radio Free Europe / Radio Liberty, which is a news organization that helps promote the free press and support journalists in countries that have restricted press environments. So while I was there, I worked on a campaign to free an unjustly detained Russian-American journalist. And I was a really small part of this much bigger campaign and organization and work, but at the end of my time there, she was released in a large-scale prisoner exchange, and I was just really glad I got to see that because I'd gotten so invested in this case and I met her family and her young daughters. And so to see some of the fruits of my labor come to fruition, I think that was something that really helped me develop this hope. Because I mean, you're not always going to succeed, but if you don't try, then you'll never accomplish what you're trying to do.
I think you're so committed to other people and like the well-being of other people and social equality and fighting against social inequality that your hope is the hope of so many other people as well. Like if Bella Romine has hope, then there are groups of people around the world that can also hold hope for their future. So I think that's been really awesome to watch over 4 years.
What are other virtues that you've seen yourself grow in, or maybe you've seen each other grow in?
I think I've definitely grown in gratitude. I came to Wake and was riding a weird high of like, oh my god, this full ride, and high school was so awesome, and everything is so good. And then it felt like everything was so good, and I didn't really know what to do with it because I wasn't really feeling grateful for it. I was just sort of recognizing it and feeling like, what's the next thing? Looking for the next thing. Over the 4 years, I've worked on sort of stopping myself and thinking to myself, like, what are the things in my life that I have to be grateful for, and how can I express that gratitude to the people that it's owed to? And it's allowed me to really feel like I'm connected to the things that are happening in my life. It made me feel good. and also prepared for when other good things come in my way for my life. Like, I'm ready to digest those as well. So I'm grateful for my gratitude.
Yeah, change is always something that I've had a lot of troubles with accepting. But over my time at college, I've definitely realized that, whatever time you're in, whether it's good or bad, it's not going to last forever. So I've just found that I have to, be grateful for whatever moment I'm in. Because even sometimes when it's unpleasant, you learn some valuable lessons from that time.
Thinking about how you all met, which is through the program for leadership and character, how has the program helped you grow and develop these past 4 years? And what experiences stand out to you in particular?
I think the program, maybe what it does best is provide space for conversations. It allows students to have what we would call conversations or dialogues that increase virtue literacy. And I think that being able to have a protected space with others that want to talk about the same things that you do, in the words of Anne, big talk, when we're done with small talk, I think is really unique on a college campus, where so much of what you do day to day is just superficial, and not that it's intentionally shallow, but that's just how our lives work. You don't ask the person sitting next to you in class what their vocation is, but in our class we do, and something I'm really appreciative of.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I think if I wasn't in the program, I wouldn't force myself to have these harder conversations that were put in weekly, and just having a space of people who know you so vulnerably that you don't have to put on a show or act differently. You can just show up and be yourself. That it allows for those hard questions to actually be able for you to tackle them. And I think just having that accountability of we see each other almost weekly, so I know every week I'll at least reflect on something deeper, or at least do something good and have a good conversation. It pushes me through the week, and just gives me hope for I don't know, just a group of people who have put in the work over the past 4 years.
Do you have a unique experience that, looking back on now as a senior, was especially meaningful through the program?
Yeah, I think all of the scholars retreats really stand out to me. The first year I was really homesick and overwhelmed, but looking back, it was such a unique experience to have basically built-in friends from every grade just be there for you and give you any advice you needed. And then just as I grew up and became one of the people who were older, I just I loved the retreats every year, and I loved this one, and getting to meet the freshmen, and just getting paired up with mentors, and just having a space where it's not as school focused but to still be with the people. We went on a senior mountain retreat that was also really special, and we got to go to Boone and just reflect on our experiences and spend time with each other, where it wasn't as school focused. And I feel that's when we get to know each other the best and the deepest, is when it's just natural and social environment where we're just all kind of reflecting and getting closer.
I really liked our first retreat in Montreat, our freshman year. It was the very first weekend of school, so we all watched a bunch of TV in someone's room, all crammed on the same bed, and then I stayed up until 4 a.m. talking with people, and it was just a beautiful venue too. And so I have a lot of memories from that first weekend that I've held on to this whole time. And I will also hold on to the memories of our senior retreat. I'm really glad that we got to have that trip, and the first inaugural senior trip, which we totally deserved. And so, yeah, it's kind of a capstone on the end of that first year from what we started.
It's hard not to mention going to London and Oxford, walking around the cities and getting to meet with people and companies and places that are so prestigious and have leadership and character ingrained in the ways they work, and get to talk about the work that we do and give advice on ways that we think different things can go. And I've been abroad a couple of times over my 4 years, around different places of the world for research or for school, and there's no trip where I felt as connected to the place I was, or I was developing as much as I did over that trip, where I got to meet and speak to and give opinions to so many people. It felt like the work that we've done had actually prepared us to make a change in this place that we never even knew we would be connected to, and we were able to make some sort of change.
I felt like it was special to see where the roots of the program kind of grew, and then I almost felt like we lived the journey with Dr. Lamb there, spending time with him at Oxford, and engaging with the Rhodes Scholars and the Rhodes House, and then being able to come back here and kind of with a new perspective on what the program is and where it came from, kind of apply the work we do, again, just intentionally. I also think that that retreat it was almost like a retreat in itself between our two grades, and I think the two cohorts got to bond a lot through it. Some of probably the most defining experiences of my college, of my 4 years in college, happened on that trip.
Totally
and,
unforgettable.
Yeah, for the rest of my life, I'll remember.
I also think I just remember like sitting in the Westminster Abbey thinking of how surreal and like this is truly once in a lifetime. Like never will I be back in this room with the head of like it was just a really surreal experience, and I feel like that was a moment where I'm like this scholarship like changed my life forever, and like I will never come back here and get to live this again, and so many people in their lifetime will never get to experience what we did, and it was just a moment of gratitude, I feel like.
I think as freshmen, I probably thought of the scholarship to be mostly money with a little hint of character development. Yeah, and then I think probably at some point while in the UK, I realized that the money was like the cherry on top, and that the more important part of what we had been doing here was the work and the curriculum. And I think that that trip really did define my experience in the program through these 4 years.
I know I'm definitely grateful for all of our friendships of accountability. I mean, we've all known each other for 4 years now, and through some like hard times, I think, for all of us. And so we just have a really long-lasting bond. And I'm also really grateful for all of the mentorship that I've gotten from Anne and Brad and Jazz over the years.
Yeah, I think when I came into the program, I thought it was a really ambitious ask. Develop our character, develop our beings, our leadership through a set of classes and meetings. I was like, there's no way sitting in a room with the same people for an hour a week is going to do anything. And it feels slow. I think the weeks are long, but the years are fast. And 4 years later, somehow, I guess you actually know what you're doing, because it does feel like when I look back, I have the ability to say my character has developed and grown. My understanding of virtue and playing around with it in my own self feels like it's much more concrete than it ever has been. And I feel like I'm clearer in my path forward as a person than I've ever been.
I think something that's really sweet, just getting to know y'all the last 3 years, is like, it's cool to see the ways in which you all have watched each other grow up. Like, I think college is really the space in which those 4 years where it's like, oh my gosh, I am becoming an adult. And you don't really think that these people are the ones that, like, you grew up with, but in a way you have. And, like, as your character has grown, so have you. And there's so many different ways, even from when I first met you as a sophomores, that can see the ways in which that you've grown up. And I find that I'm very grateful for that. So thank you for letting me be a part of that journey. My last question for you all is, as you prepare to graduate, what lessons or experiences do you hope to carry with you into that next chapter?
I think after I graduate, I want to continue to like push myself to be around people who push me. I feel like that's like what the group did. It was like these people maybe I wouldn't have met if I wasn't in the program, and we all have different beliefs and upbringing, and we've all pushed each other even if we haven't noticed, like to think differently. Bless you. To think differently, to act differently, to like accept things that we wouldn't have thought of. And so I think that's a really important thing, is just to surround yourself with people who are different than you. And sometimes it's harder and not as fun to just be around people who are exactly the same and believe the same things. But I think it's really powerful to like push yourself to, if I'm out in the world now, I think of the people in my cohort and like what would they think, or what would a challenge be for them in this moment. And I think it's a really powerful thing. So I just hope after I graduate I can continue to find like spaces that push me.
I can say I hope to take the framework of the work that we've done here. Wake Forest is a bubble, and I find that the conversations we have and the experiences we've had are a lot easier done when you don't have external concerns, which we basically haven't for the past 4 years. So I'm hoping to take that into post-grad, being able to still be intentional and reflect on experience and not let the things that really matter slip away.
I think the journey of character development is a never-ending journey. Like, it feels like now I'm graduating, it's finally over, and I'm done with classes. I will walk that stage with a diploma, but my character is still going to be changing and hopefully growing for the better for my life to come. If nothing else, I hope to take from leadership and character the ability to know that my character and who I am is in my control and is in my ability to make better, whether I'm in class with you guys or by myself in an apartment somewhere around the world. I know that I can become a better person, and I feel ready to do that.